Good morning, good people. Today is Tuesday, August 26, 2025. Here we are once again in southwestern Nevada in the sharp elbowed, rootin' tootin' pistol shooting place we call Pahrump or Pahrumpertucky. You choose. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. Right. You already knew that. Okay, so this podcast is for our students and interested people to help on their journey through this life. Today is day 2 in week 3 of our 4-week neuroscience approach to success. And this week is entitled Outside My Skull-Sized Kingdom. That's where we see, oh, there's other people that think the world revolves around them. I need to get them to help me on my journey, on my adventure. How do I do that? That's what this week is about, because we can't do it alone. We cannot do it alone. The most successful people are the people who get the most people helping them, or at least cooperating. And you can look at the wealth people in the world. How many people's lives do they touch every day? How many people's lives does Amazon touch every day? People who buy things from Amazon, the people who sell things on Amazon, the people who deliver things on Amazon, including the raw materials to make the things that are sold on Amazon. So billions of people. Mm-hmm. No, just doing my podcast right now. Okay. Okay, back in the game. Boom, focus. Okay. So our theme of today, the theme of today's podcast is mirrors and hats. Mirrors and hats. What does that have to do with? Well, it has to do with something Seth Godin said. But before we do that, let's look at our advice from an 8-year-old. Be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. A lot was accomplished before you were born. True. So that kind of goes to inside my skull-sized kingdom, where I think everything revolves around me. I'm the most important person in the universe. And to myself, I am. But a lot was accomplished before. That makes me think of Sir Isaac Newton's quote, something about if I've accomplished a lot or if I've seen further down the road than other people, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of far greater people that have come before me. True that. Okay. So, should we get into mirrors and hats? No one buys a hat without looking at themselves in a mirror first, ever. There were hats before there were mirrors, so I'm not sure how it used to be, but that's how it is now. Yeah, so what did people do before there were mirrors? Even though we may imagine we're wearing a hat to protect ourselves from the sun, the mirror reminds us that it's really about something more than that. A surprisingly large number of choices we make involve actual and metaphorical mirrors. What will I tell my friends? How does this make me feel? Don't open a hat store unless you install a mirror first. I'd say it's the same with eyeglasses, right? And they probably didn't have eyeglasses until after mirrors. Okay. So, Darren Hardy, pretty good about comparing ourselves to others. Envy, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Oops. Oops. Forgot to hit send over here. Dang it. Bonk. Advice from an 80-year-old. Living Good, we're still on apple cider vinegar. Barbara Oakley published something last week. It was about radios. So, Daily Stoic, about culture in Roman times. There was a time, let's see, in the late 1st century, 2nd century, when the philosophers were banned from Rome. They all got exiled, probably complaining about how things were. With leadership. Okay, let's talk about Seth Godin today and day 2 of week 3, Tribes We Lead. So this week, our focus is how do we get people to help us on our journey? How do we get people to help us become successful? Because we can't do it without other people. And, we shouldn't even bother trying. Yesterday, David Logan said, join a tribe, nudge it forward. Tribe is people like us. So join a tribe of people like us and nudge it forward. Okay, today, Seth Godin tells us how to nudge it forward. How do we nudge it forward? So he says there's 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, and 4. First step, find something to change. What do we need to change about the status quo? What do we need to change with the status quo? Because if we can't change anything, we're not going to be able to lead people. We're not going to be able to get people to help us do what we want. We have to find something to change. That's not really hard. We can do observation. We can ask other people, hey, what sucks here? What can we do better? What can we do more of? So find part of the status quo to change, number 1. Number 2, tell a compelling story. Number 3, connect the true believers and ignore the non-true believers. Here's where we generally make a mistake in that we, for the people who don't believe us, who we don't connect with, we argue with them. We try to persuade them rather than just go to the next person. Do as Jesus said. If you come to a town and they don't welcome you, dust off your sandals and go to the next town. It's not worth the energy or effort to try to change people. Okay. Find something to change, tell a compelling story, connect the true believers, ignore the non-true believers, and then lead them. That's what Seth Godin says. That's how easy or simple the formula is. Not necessarily easy, but simple. So that's all you got to do. tomorrow we're going to talk about how do you tell a compelling story. Right. How do you tell a compelling story? Okay, let's look at see if there's anything else on our hit parade. I think not. Let's see. Jordan Peterson today. Was Russell Brand. That's interesting. So Russell Brand was featured on both Jordan Peterson and Daily Stoic. On Daily Stoic about cancel culture, and on Jordan Peterson about becoming conservative. Okay, so a little bit of other interesting news has started sprinkling outside this morning. So we'll see what's up with that. And working on new employment opportunities for people here. Got to take the ball and run with it. And we go from there. So I guess this is going to be a short one. Wow, good. 11 minutes and 42 seconds. That's what happens when you reduce the intro by 5 minutes. Maybe we'll just continue to jump right into it tomorrow and urge people to, if you want to understand why we're here, click on the link down below. That's the introduction to our podcast. With that, you can say, okay, people, let's look at our worksheet up at the top, some of the key things. Have an attitude of gratitude. Always look on the bright side. When in doubt, tell yourself you'll figure it out. Caddyshack. See the ball. When you get in a pickle, say, in my case, Edward, wait for it. You've got yourself into this mess. Let me help you get out. And something great is going to happen to me today. I will do good no matter what happens to me. I will do good. And finally, seek uncomfort. Become comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay, with that, we're going to say and cut. Moving on in our day.